Why buyers and sellers are facing very different conditions today. Hello, everyone. David Hittle, your real estate specialist with United Real Estate Louisville. In today's market, buyers and sellers are literally walking through different doors. Their conditions, their advantages, and their challenges are not the same. And understanding those differences could be the key to making the right move. So let's dig into what's changed and what you need to know. So, when a market is becoming more balanced, buyers and sellers more or less trade in similar territory. Inventory, pricing, demand, and leverage are shared. But now conditions are diverging. Sellers are battling the rise of inventory. They are battling longer market times and buyers who now have more choices. While buyers, on the other hand, are grappling with the higher rates, stricter lending standards, and more cautious budgeting. Put simply, what's favorable for one side often doesn't work for the other in this phase of the market. So here are the seller's challenges versus the seller's strength. For sellers, here's your challenges. There is now more competition. Active listings have exploded. Buyers have more homes to choose from, especially in our area. Price sensitivity. Buyers are much more cautious now and less willing to stretch if the home isn't well priced or well prepared. There's now a slower pace. Days on market are creeping up. Homes that are overvalued or poorly marketed may stagnate. But here are your strengths. It is still favorable. There is still favorable demand at the right price. Well priced, desirable homes in good condition in great locations are still attracting serious buyers. The data points to that. You also may have an equity cushion. Many sellers have built significant equity over the last years, which gives them more flexibility in negotiations and pricing strategy. The trick for sellers is recognizing where your home stands in the market. Are you in the sweet spot or are you fighting uphill against trends? On the other side, the buyer's challenges. Mortgage rate pressure. Higher financing costs are shrinking what buyers can afford. Tight credit and qualification hurdles are also impacting. Lenders are being more cautious. They now have stricter debt to income and down payment requirements. So choosing wisely. With more inventory comes more variance in quality, condition, and pricing. The bad apples become more obvious. Buyer strengths, on the other hand, are more selection because inventory has exploded. You have more homes to pick through, and you can find those homes with value. You now have more negotiating power. Sellers who have priced too aggressively may be open to concessions, some credits, or creative deal structures. So now is the time to think. You have time to think. You can compare more, visit more houses, and not feel rushed into bad decisions. So, as a buyer, your advantage is in patience, preparation, and strategy. Not just time, but well informed positions. Now, let's bring this home to Louisville and Jefferson County. In our market, we have seen inventory expand more rapidly in certain price bands. For sellers in those bands, you are competing with more homes For buyers, the options are improving. So for sellers in the $200,000 to $400,000 range, demand remains strong if you present well and you price wisely. But for sellers above that, you'll need sharp differentiation. Buyers in the middle to upper price ranges may find loans or rates to be a bigger barrier than in those lower ranges. So having strong financing in place is critical. Neighborhoods with less supply congestion may still favor sellers more. So your specific zip code, school district, or community characteristics matter a lot more right now. I will continue monitoring upcoming GLAR and MLS data to see exactly where the gaps between buyer conditions and seller conditions are widening. And I, of course, will share that with you. So, what should you do, whether buying or selling in these different conditions? For sellers, price smartly, make sure your property stands out in condition, market strongly, and be willing to negotiate on terms beyond just price, such as closing costs or timing. Buyers, get pre-approved, get your finances in order, and filter the inventory carefully and lean into the negotiation, but don't overreach into risk. Watch the trends, monitor the days on market, monitor the inventory shifts, monitor the rate movements. The gap between buyer and seller conditions can shift super quickly. And always work with someone like me who sees both sides so you don't misread the balance of power. Here's what I want you to remember. Today's market is not level for buyers and sellers. It's asymmetric. What you see as an opportunity or obstacle depends on which side of the transaction that you are standing. But knowledge narrows the gap. When you understand which conditions favor you, you can lean in confidently without guessing. If you'd like, I'll come back with a map showing which neighborhoods in Jefferson County favor sellers and which favor buyers right now, including pricing, inventory, and rate sensitivity. I am David Hittle. I am your real estate specialist, and I work with United Real Estate Louisville. Let's make market inequities work for you, whatever side of the fence you are on, and avoid walking into a mismatch. See you next time.